And you go, well, why is that bad, Deathwitch? You know, that's just the game encouraging you to go do other things while you wait for the timer to go down. It takes time to craft things. Even in Minecraft, the furnace takes time, blah, blah, blah. It takes time to craft things. That's just them telling you, hey, go do other things and come back and you'll be rewarded with this. No, that's not what the game's telling you. The game's telling you, fuck you, give me money. And they go, oh, well, all of the currency is earnable in game, so it doesn't matter. Really? What currency is earnable in the game of Warframe? Oh, well, you trade with other players to get the... Oh, well, then that's not earnable in the game, then is it, dipshit? There's a lot to like in Warframe, but all of that experience is ruined by its monetization. This is why you should be criticizing the monetization, not championing, because it's literally ruining that game you say you like. Now, on to my rant from Twitter. I've been spending most of the day arguing with the Nintendo simps, and oddly enough, I think the community, since we're talking about gaming stuff, because gaming is still like mostly what shows up in my feed, because that's how I used Twitter before I started taking YouTube seriously. So I do still engage with a lot of video game stuff. I just you know, my two hobbies are video games and YouTube drama. So I do still engage with a lot of gaming stuff, and I think the community that may be worse than the Nintendo simp community, than the fucking Nintendo fanboys, are the goddamn Warframe fanboys. Holy shit. I've got 2 videos of them on my channel. I've done this rant before, and then I realized that rant ended up being about 3 hours long, so I condensed it down to 15 minutes and made a second video to just like get all my thoughts out there in a cohesive manner, because I was trying to direct them to my channel to look at those, and they wouldn't watch it because it was like 3 hours long, and they're like, no, I'm not watching this. And I was like, okay, well, there it is in 15 minutes. If you can't give me 15 minutes of your time, then we're not having an actual conversation. Here are we, buddy? All right. So I think they may be worse than Nintendo fans, because they have been promoting, white knighting, and justifying the absolute fucking worst monetization practices in gaming for years. And they've kind of flown under the radar. Most people I'd get mad about it, but now that the Nintendo stuff happened, and Nintendo has ushered in the era of the $80 game, people are rightfully mad at Nintendo. A lot of people are upset at all the price hikes. And of course the Nintendo simps are going to defend it, but that shined a light Warframe fans caught astray, because it made people look at other stuff too. And the monetization practices in Warframe, I don't understand why they get championed the way they get championed. Warframe is the first PC game to feature mobile game style microtransactions and become popular doing it. And the more popular Warframe gets and the more people defend it, the bigger the excuse other companies are going to have to do the same. And that's my argument. That's my problem. And the video I did in the past already showed that, yes, that's happening. And it's bad when it does it, when other companies do it. And those same Warframe fans were quick to point out that it was bad because another game was doing it, which I find ironic, because they all like get on Twitter and talk about how if you want to see free-to-play games done right, if you want to see the blueprint, look at Warframe. And okay, First Descendant looked at Warframe and said, let's just do that, but with a little hint of Destiny. So it looked at Warframe, it looked at Destiny, it smashed the two together. Its monetization pretty much matches Warframe almost 1 for 1, and everyone hated it. Everyone got mad at it when it launched. I remember those conversations. And it was ironic, because those same people were the ones who would champion Warframe. Warframe is a game which features pay-to-win elements, buyable Warframes, buyable guns, buyable gear in the game, boost to level yourself faster. So all these things you can buy to give yourself an edge and an advantage over a free-to-play player. You can log in on day 1 and have every Warframe if you want. No grinding needed. You can have every gun. No grinding needed. You can instantly have all the gear. The only thing you got to grind out is the levels, which takes 10 to 20 minutes. So that's not really a grind. That's not really an argument. Because we still got to grind the guns. I'm like, oh, cool, 10 minutes of my time. Versus grinding to get all of the materials to craft a Warframe, which can take days or weeks in and of itself. And then when you finish grinding for those materials, you have to then craft them into the warframe. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, it's like Minecraft. You walk up to a crafting table, boom, you put in the stuff, and you get the thing. Yeah, it's like that if the Minecraft crafting table told you to wait 3 days before it gave you back your fucking pickaxe, because that's what happens. You put the materials into the crafting table, you say, I'm going to craft this new warframe, I'll have a new character. And then it gives you a 72-hour goddamn wait timer. And you go, well, why is that bad, Deathwitch? You know, that's just the game encouraging you to go do other things while you wait for the timer to go down. It takes time to craft things. Even in Minecraft, the furnace takes time, blah, blah, blah. It takes time to craft things. That's just them telling you, hey, go do other things and come back and you'll be rewarded with this. No, that's not what the game's telling you. The game's telling you, fuck you, give me money. Why is it saying that? Because you can pay to skip the wait timer. It's not there to encourage you to play the game. It's there to encourage you to pay the game. And they go, oh, well, all of the currency is earnable in game, so it doesn't matter. Really, what currency is earnable in the game of Warframe? Oh, well, you trade with other players to get. Oh, well, then it's not earnable in the game. Then is it, dipshit? If every other player logged out except you and your clan, or you logged in one day and nobody with currency was on, if all those whales log off, then where are you getting the currency from, dumbass? Somebody's got to buy it. It's not earnable. It's buyable. Just because they're giving you the option to share your currency with your fellow man and turn you into unpaid employees for them doesn't mean it's earnable in the game. Now you're just describing Diablo 3's real money auction house with extra steps. And we all hated that when it launched. And it got removed from existence, rightfully so. So why are we justifying it here? Then they got on Helldivers 2. Because one dude was trying to use two games with good monetization practice. Which, we were having a conversation about free-to-play games. I don't know why you brought up Helldivers 2. That's paid. That's not free. And Helldivers 2 also has pay-to-win in it. I know it gets a pass, which it shouldn't, because it's a fucking paid game. But it has guns and abilities locked behind a battle pass. You don't buy the battle pass, you don't get those things. That's a paywall. When you lock power behind a paywall, it's pay to win. And then they want to argue over me. The argument that like drives me fucking insane and makes me think that this is why we're cooked. This is why the gaming industry is cooked, because its players are literally fucking retarded. They go, dude, it's a PvE game. What are you winning? Like, it's not like it's creating an unfair advantage against other players. You're not playing against other players. How's it pay to win? What are you winning? Oh, what are you winning? The game. You're getting an advantage needed to win the game, the purpose you're playing. If it makes your accomplishing an objective in the game, the purpose you're playing, if it makes that easier or instant because you opened your wallet, then it's pay to win. You understand the win part of pay to win isn't fucking literal. It's a figure of speech. It's like if I say keep your eye on the ball, I'm not about to throw a fucking softball at you. Like, why do we suddenly forget what figure of speeches are because we're defending our favorite fucking game? And also, you can like the game and not like the monetization. You can defend the game and criticize the monetization. Those two things can be true at the same time. You can do both. I know it's crazy to think about that, but you can defend your game without defending its shitty practices. I have zero issues. You will never hear me criticize Warframe's gameplay. I think the gameplay's fine. Great movement, smooth, good combat. Not a real fan of the story, but it got better over time. I don't like the art design, but some of the Warframes, again, got better over time. The atmosphere's great, good enemy variety, fun boss fights. There's a lot to like in Warframe, but all of that experience is ruined by its monetization. This is why you should be criticizing the monetization, not championing, because it's literally ruining that game you say you like. Why the fuck would you justify that? This is like meeting your perfect woman and she's got AIDS, and then you're defending the fact that she's got AIDS like it's a good thing. That's ruining the perfect fucking woman that you thought. That's a pretty big asterisk. Like, oh man, you got yourself a model, but you're gonna get AIDS. Why the fuck would you defend the AIDS? You can defend the woman. Don't defend the AIDS. This is what Warframe is. It's AIDS. It's fucking AIDS. The monetization of Warframe is AIDS. So, I've been going back and forth with these idiots as they bend over backwards to justify getting fucked out of their own money. And a couple guys did actually join in. And then the people, the people, although I shut one guy down, the one guy who's, well, a number of guys, but this one guy is bending over extremely backwards to justify $80 games. He was like, adjusted for inflation. I hate the adjusted for inflation argument, because games have increased at a rate over the last 10 years that are outpacing inflation. I'm sorry, they just are. We got $60 video games as the standard in 2006. We went 2 console generations before it went up to 70. After it went up to 70, we've gone 1 console generation before it goes up to 80. And at this rate, we won't finish this console generation before it goes up again. The time frame between when they're increasing those prices gets shorter every time. That should be a red flag to people. That shouldn't be something you're defending. Not to mention that the price increase is completely fucking unnecessary when it comes to the price of games. And I always point at the one piece of proof I have that happened recently that disproves every argument these game companies have about why they need to charge $80. And then that kind of shuts down the whole argument. And that argument is Expedition 33. Expedition 33 is a game made by former Ubisoft developers, so they understand what it takes to make a AAA game. They worked on them for decades. Some of these guys were there for like 20 years. So they understand this industry. And they left to make their own company, and their first game out the fucking gate was Expedition 33. A goddamn masterpiece that is Game of the Year contender. AAA game quality. Made by 33 people on a budget of only $50 million. They made it at a fraction of the budget of a AAA game, with a fraction of the people, and it costs the end user, me and you, a fraction of that price. It launched on a subscription service, so you can just subscribe to Xbox Game Pass if you really don't want to buy it. That probably, everyone says that is going to hurt its sales. No, it's still sold like hotcakes because it's sold at $50. Why is all of this relevant? Because they did all of that, and there's a picture I can pull up where I screenshotted it. Expedition 33 has made more money at a cheaper price point in 2025 while also being on a subscription service than its former devs they used to work for, flagship game, Assassin's Creed. Okay, I highlighted it. I pulled it up. Here it is. Okay, I pulled it up. I highlighted. Let me get this pulled up for you guys. Nope, that's not the one I want. I want this one. There we go. So there it is. Have a look at that bad boy right there. The highlighted part right there shows you. It is made. Gross revenue of the base game, $38.4 million. Assassin's Creed Shadows has made $34.7 million. It has outgrossed its former employer while being cheaper. Now, it had to sell more copies, sure. But if you make a good game, it'll sell copies. So all of their excuses, the games are too expensive to make, we have to raise the price in order to make profit, it takes too many developers, we got to pay them, this is why we also have to lay people off because we can't afford to keep them employed. All of their shitty business practices got exposed by Expedition 33. They did it with 33 people, some of which were just hired from SoundCloud and Reddit. They did it on a fraction of the budget, $50 million, as opposed to like Assassin's Creed $200 million budget. They didn't spend an exorbitant amount in marketing. They worked with streamers in the community, which bettered their reputation. They were just smarter about the way they made a game. And everyone benefited from it. They made more money. The end user, the consumer, saved money. More people got access to it because of it being on a subscription service. And that's game sales I pulled up there on that chart. That doesn't even include the kickback they got from Microsoft for being on Game Pass. So that's not even being included in their profits on that chart. It's probably higher than that. Because I don't know what that's all closed door stuff, but we don't know what Microsoft pays these companies to get their games onto Game Pass, but those companies get paid for putting their games on Game Pass. They usually get like, that's kind of the decision a dev has to make when they put it on Game Pass, is do I want to get more sales, which could potentially mean more money, or do I want to put it on Game Pass and guarantee myself this much money? So you're guaranteed X amount of money if you put it on Game Pass, but you could potentially make more if you sell it. You could also potentially make less. That's why it's like a tough decision. So it makes no sense why people defend these practices. There's no reason Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart World should cost $80. I refuse to believe that game cost more to make than Assassin's Creed Shadows, and that game launched at $70. I refuse to believe that Mario Kart World cost them hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars to develop. Nintendo is notorious for developing their games on as cheap a budget as possible so that they can maximize their profits. Because Nintendo's company was staying afloat up until the Switch by being the family-friendly, affordable console. Giving you entertainment on the cheap and making it on the cheap was their entire fucking business model. So of course they're still doing that with World. There's no reason to charge 80. This is all cope, and I don't understand the people who get fucked in the ass by these companies and then decide that they're going to defend that. That's why every time I saw people posting they were going to buy a Switch 2, I told them not to forget to pick up lube. You know, while you're at Target, don't forget to pick up the lube, boys. If you can swap a motor on a car yourself for $5K, it'd be $50K of overhead at a shop to do it in a day. Yeah, exactly. Like, they lie to you about how much it costs so that they can justify increasing the price. But most people aren't just like with cars. Most people don't understand how much work and money it actually costs to fix a car. Engines look complicated. The way that the mechanic's going to describe it to you might sound complicated. So it sounds like he's doing more work than it is. It sounds like it's more expensive than it is. So when he gives you an expensive price tag at the end, you just go, okay, I don't want to have to do that. That sounds good. I'll do it. Have $300 to change oil? Sure. Oil, that's all over the engine. How do I even get in there? Like that. They're taking advantage of people's ignorance. And the frustrating part is when you shine a light on this stuff so that people won't be ignorant to it, and then they step up to defend the people lying to them. Like the level of gaslit these people have been blows my mind. Because this stuff has been disproven time and time again by people with more education in the business than me and who are more reputable than I, and they don't listen to them either. Minimum viable product for the highest price possible because casuals need to game. That was Nintendo's entire business model, and still is. There's no reason the Switch should be $450. The Switch 2 should be $450. There's no reason Mario Kart should be $80. There's no reason they should be charging what they're charging for this stuff. I'm sorry, the Switch 2, even as powerful as it is compared to the Switch 1, well, the Switch 1 was already a generation behind when it launched. It's 2 generations behind now. And the Switch 2 is still a generation behind where we are now. So it's still also using almost 10-year-old technology. There's no reason you should be paying almost the same price as modern day tech for 10-year-old tech. There's just not. It's not even using an OLED screen. They even cheaped out on the parts that they already fixed on the last one. So, like, I don't understand. You point that out to people and they defend it. Like, this guy's like, man, I'd be fine paying $100 for GTA 6. I'm like, why? Stop giving them this idea. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And stop with the adjusted for inflation argument, because adjusted for inflation should come with a big ass asterisk, because markets don't work on a fucking straight line. It's a guesstimate at best. Like any economics major, any economist will tell you, anytime someone says adjusted for inflation, that basically means almost nothing, because we're just guessing. We're trying to do a one-for-one comparison to a market that was wildly different 20 years ago. It was wildly different years ago than it is now. And the inflation rate is, that fucking graph keeps getting steeper, because things are raising at an increased rate of, like, prices are going up at an increased rate. The gap between when the prices are being raised is getting shortened, but the gap between when you get a pay raise on your paycheck is the fucking same. That's the problem. So adjusted for inflation is just justifying screwing you over. It means nothing. You need to look at the current market as it stands, and doing that, Expedition 33 proves that the current market is profitable and sustainable at still the $50 price tag we had in 2000. That is still a profitable margin. Very profitable. It outgrossed Assassin's Creed, and Assassin's Creed is just as popular game. So I like it. Just, it blows my mind when you show them this stuff and then they look to the past to try to justify, and they bend over backwards to simp for these companies. Like that's one of my biggest pet peeves on the internet, are people who simp for companies, and then you'll find these same fucking accounts fucking complaining about capitalism and fucking complaining about the economy. You just justified all of the stuff needed to make your stuff more expensive, and then you're going to turn around when you get broke and complain about the economy. You're the economy, motherfucker. If you don't buy shit at a certain price, it won't sell. And if it won't sell, they'll lower the price. That's like grade school economics, man. You do have some power over the economy. How about you exercise it?